to episode 27 of Talking Small Press Comics with Steve Keeter over there, and I am Salty Breeze. And Steve is the classic comic book man all of a sudden. Wow.
I just got one thing to say.
What is it, Elvis?
If you're looking for trouble, you come to the right place. Looking for trouble, look right in my face.
Uh-oh. Whoa.
Okay. That's all I had to say.
There we go.
You know, I got to take care of my hair because I really do have beautiful hair, you know.
Yes, I know that. Even though sometimes it's plastic, even. But
I can't resist myself. At the beginning of every video, it seems I have to do something really weird and strange.
Ridiculous.
That's the tone for the rest of the video.
Yeah.
So you can forget, being reverent or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
That's okay. Let's go with it. However,
all right, we will. We're going to. We have gotten 5 issues of Zombie Dave, and we have 2 more that we have not looked at yet.
Oh my gosh!
And I thought we'd start with issue 4.
And
they all are. I've got them all on my desk too.
Matt Decker.
They're extremely professional, for one thing. Really neat. But we hadn't reviewed Zombie Dave 4, which, let me tell you, let me just mention, if you have the other issues, you ought to take notes before you get to Zombie Dave 4.
Yep.
Because there is a lot going on in this issue.
It starts to get real complicated.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know how to describe some of this.
Cheetah-munculus.
Yeah. And it's all based on a card game, Murdy, that comes to life and becomes
Monkey
real.
Empire Royal Dynasty Edition.
Yes, that's the name of it.
Oh.
And this is Cheetah-munculus here, but Cheetah-munculus, this is a good Cheetah-munculus.
Right.
Back in another issue, there was Cheetah-munculus with a different outfit on, who's the same guy, but bad. If you can fathom this, you've got to really think about this.
Yeah, you got your evil Cheetah-munculus.
You got the evil,
and you got your good Cheetah-munculus.
and then you got this Cheetah-munculus, who's not evil, but he's the same guy.
Yeah,
what?
That's the new one. And this is quite an amazing series here. I don't think I've ever read anything. It's really one of the finest small press comics I've ever seen. It's not even small press.
No, it's a major. Yeah,
and
these are full bleed pages too. But I mean, it's. But following the story, man, you better pay attention. I'm telling you.
Especially when you get to number 4 and 5.
Number 4 especially. If you don't think about what's going on, you'll be lost. And I was lost for a while, but I've had the book for a while, so I could go back and look at it. And these 4 guys are essential in the story. They're the guys playing the card game that comes to life. So they're essential. Pay attention to them.
And they wear cool hats.
Yes, they do. They have the wizard hats on.
Okay, here, just checking back, just so you know, the original Cheetah-munculus.
There's the original, and I'll show you the
I am Cheetah-munculus, Destroyer of Time.
Yeah, the same guy, but dressed a little different.
That's the new guy. So this was the blue Cheetah-munculus, and that's the egg white Cheetah-munculus.
This one is the egg white, yes.
He's the villain, and then he becomes a hero. He's an anti-hero.
Oh yeah, he's a good guy.
Sometimes hero, sometimes villain. Yeah. We're tapping into a lot of different dimensions, and
quite a few different
characters
dimensions
are coming out of the woodwork, and some of them are pretty amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of different dimensions in here, a lot of different
You see a lot of
parallel
creatures here escaping.
universes, and
They're all dimensions based on card games.
yeah, it's all based on this card game that they're actually living through. The art just never quits. It's just all kinds of stuff going
Fantastic.
on.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And you know, there's a lot of action in the last couple of issues.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
It's
look
all
at
been
this.
leading up to this. Yeah, and you see there where you can see Chomp and censored that page there,
Yeah,
where our hero, Zombie Dave, you know, if he's denied his uh, what does it eat? What does it eat? Those darn chips, whatever they're called. How could I forget that?
I know, but
it's in
there's so
there.
much in here you can't remember it all.
Yeah. Anyway, and you know, they're giving him corn chips or something. Why can't I remember that? This is embarrassing.
Oh, pork
I'm just looking.
rinds. Pork rinds.
Pork rinds. Pork
Yeah,
rinds.
pork
That's
rinds.
it. They give him pork rinds
Yeah.
so that Dave will not eat human beings.
Yeah, yeah. Yes.
By this
He's gonna
time,
be eating something. So pork rinds are one thing, but
he had his pork rinds. He was hungry, and one of the bad guys in the story just happens to cross his path, and well, you know, he becomes the latest meal, which kind of solves part of the problems. I'm not going to give away the ending.
oh no. But you
We're
can
talking
see
about issue
here
number 4.
in this particular panel, they go on a RV trip, and speaking of pork rinds, it says right here, are we really taking all those pork rinds, Dad? And it says, after last night, taking no chances. Dave will not get hungry on this trip.
I'm looking at that
So they're
page.
taking Dave with them, but they got to have pork rinds. He eat the whole family. I'm sure of it.
But he's become very good friends. These are his family now.
Yeah.
Will Bishop, that's the guy with the black face.
Yes. Will Bishop is the guy
Wife,
that got
Lynn Bishop.
burned, kind of.
Yep. And his
face
wife,
turned blue.
Lynn.
Yeah.
His wife, Lynn, turns out to be Dave's, when he was alive, it was his half sister, I think, or stepson.
I think so.
His half sister.
Mhm.
And she's having a romance with Will, and they have a son named Billy. And Billy and Dave have become great friends. So they go on adventures together. And
we also have, don't forget
This is
about
issue
the
4.
Thor sock monkey, because he's in this issue too.
Yep.
Yeah.
The 12 o'clock Thor sock monkey.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much going on here.
You're not kidding.
There's a lot of action. Here we got Dave. Dave has gone, he's in an astral form here.
Mm-hmm.
And generally he can just go through things. But something's going on here where he achieves corporal form.
Yeah. They're kind of putting their hands through him and realizing he's not really solidly there.
Right. And this is another version of Cheetah here.
I was going to say, there's
Having
the
a
Cheetah
battle.
again. Now this is another form of the Cheetah that's in the story.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, folks, you're going to have to keep up.
And he too is in an ethereal form. But since they're both in ethereal forms, they're like phantoms. Mm-hmm. They can contact each other and actually punch each other, and they have a big fight. So, but good grief. As I said, the story gets a little complex towards the end, but by this time, you've read through several issues and you've come to really, these characters are fully developed. You've come to really enjoy and appreciate them.
Yeah.
The bad guys, the evil bad guys, and the bond between the good guys, the people.
Well, you're kind of getting into issue 5 here.
Mm-hmm. I'm totally looking at issue 5.
Matt pulls everything together in this issue. This is the heart, but you need all the issues. But this one you got to have, because this tells a lot. Tells you a lot about what's been going on. I mean, it's just really cool the way Matt does this. He brings it all together in this issue.
And it turns out the primary villain is not Cheetah Monkless.
No, it's
Big red orb.
yeah, this big red orb. Yeah, right there. That's the main problem here.
Which it has the power to access all these different dimensions and bring in all sorts of evil from billions of dimensions and worlds. And so this guy's a pretty
Richard Cranium has that right here. Isn't that Richard Cranium?
That's him.
That's him. And he's got the orb. See.
But the last issue gets into a little bit of the origin of Zombie Dave. Before in fact, it explains a lot. Before he was a zombie, he was a scientist.
Yeah.
He was very driven, and most of what happens, opening these other dimensional gateways, and bringing all this evil and everything into our universe, is pretty much because of the mistakes he made as a driven, fanatical scientist.
There's actually, you can see, he got poked with that, and then boom.
There he goes. Kabloom.
Boom.
Kaboom.
Kaboom. Kaboom. Kaboom. Kaboom.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's, David turned into a zombie after that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Oh my God, there's so much going on. These guys they're having I think this one's kind of funny. They're having it's sort of like a seance or a thing where you got this character here, and he's trying to contact. What's he trying to do here? He's trying to do something to bring in help from the other dimension, and he's trying to do something to stop the orb from opening multiple portals at once and bringing all this evil into our dimension. And that's Dr. Cliff Stormstein, who's in charge of finance and sorcery with Dave's outfit, or Will Bishop's outfit. He says he says something about some sort of we can cast the Circle of El Pollo Diablo to increase all magical activity tenfold. Well, El Pollo Diablo means the devil chicken in Spanish. So if you look at
poultry again.
Where's it? I gotta follow my finger here. Right here. And he's saying his incantation is Coo-wee El Pollo Diablo, coo-wee, bok, 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 bok.
Poultry. Once again, poultry.
Poultry.
Heavy poultry interest theme in here.
And they have their time. They have their hands full with this giant orb.
You will be wore out after you read these, for sure. Woo.
Yeah.
I wonder what Matt is going to do now that he's finished all 5 of these. I'd like to know what he's going to do next.
Yeah. The action, the story, the characters, the whole thing is just magnificently done. You got panels. This is almost a 2-page spread.
Yeah.
Panel with our heroes fighting these dark dimensional characters. Yeah. We get an explanation of why this guy has a black face.
Yeah, it tells you that. It tells you all that.
Tells you the whole story, and there's the whole family here, the wife and the child.
Yeah.
And then it all leads up to it's quite an amazing finale. I just don't want to give. I'm tempted.
No, we can't give it away.
The ending. I will tell you this.
You're gonna go all the way to issue 5, and you know what happens. That's no fun.
You can see Zombie Dave giving his all in the final battle, and look at that artwork. Good gosh, Matt Decker is just so good.
Top notch. Yep.
You can see that. And the ending is powerful. It's moving. It's poignant. And I'll just say when you think it's all done, and I read it, I had like tears. I was like, oh
Crying
man.
like a baby.
So that's how it ends. This is so emotional. The writing, the artwork, it all comes together. The coloring, I mean, the whole thing comes together to one amazing conclusion. And then, now I'm not going to say anymore. I'll just say the ending was really powerful.
Stone PI Media, Lebanon, Missouri. That's
Yep.
where it's from. And Matt Decker is the artist, and the guy with the imagination. I would love to talk
Yep.
to him. If you ever want to come on here, Dave, for an interview, Matt, let us know.
I would love to interview Matt. That would be awesome.
That would really be interesting.
And he does say, he's got a letter call at the end of the issue. He does mention that this is the last, this is the end.
This is
but
the
he
end
doesn't say necessarily that Zombie Dave might not pop up again.
Well, that's right.
But
You always leave everything a little open-ended,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
if I was you,
that
this is one of the finest small press comics I've ever seen. And if I was you guys, I would order all 5 issues at once. He'll probably cut you a break on that if you do.
Yeah, I would too, because they're a lot of fun and they're so well done.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Come a long ways from that first issue. The first issue cover.
And I don't know how many years it's been. When was that? Do you have that issue? Does it say when it was?
This came out in 2018, but I saw something where he said he began the character in 2010. This might be the first time it was actually published, but he started working on it in 2010. Anyway, it would be anyone's magnum opus. This would be, if this is the only thing you ever did, it's the finest thing you ever did. This is something you'll always be remembered for. Now, I'll never forget these comics. I've really been blown away by them.
We got them. We can look at them anytime we want.
Yeah. I won't depart with these.
Yeah.
So.
All right. What do you got next?
Well, I got a couple of ordinary comics from a guy named Larned Justin. Just thought I'd mention
sub minis, I call them. They're 1-page folded comic books.
1-page folded.
Yeah, they're 8 pages, but the way you fold them, you make a little comic book out of them.
Yeah. Two ordinary guys from Jupiter.
2 ordinary guys from Jupiter, which, just a couple of ordinary guys.
It's like you and me.
Huh?
We were from Jupiter. This would be us.
It would be us. It would be like 2 ordinary guys from Earth.
Guys.
Except these guys happen to be from Jupiter.
Yeah. So
and there's
they seem like they seem like sort of interplanetary tourists.
Yeah, they're traveling around and they see Earth. Well, I figure, we'll land there. Might be something.
Come to Earth.
Yeah. There they are. Landing on Earth there.
And they meet somebody. It's a kid with a backpack. And they say, "We need to see your ruler."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Here."
Yeah.
So he reaches into his backpack. And, he pulls out a ruler. I had one over here somewhere. Like this. This is your ruler.
Yeah. Yeah. He had it in his backpack. He's carrying it,
So he says, you carry the ruler around with you, and they just don't get it. So
yeah, they're trying to understand how this ruler can do anything,
He says, I guess you guys are not from around here. He said, no, we're just 2 ordinary guys visiting here.
Mm-hmm. And I can even give away the last page, because the last page says, the 2 guys say, well, you picked a dumb planet to land on. The ruler is a stick with marks on it. And the next one's in full color, by the way.
Color.
And maybe we won't give away this one so much, but it's in full color. And these cost $75 each from me.
Yeah. And they prepare for a landing. So there they
Yeah.
land.
Boink.
Yeah. And there's another ship here. And like, what
Yeah.
whose ship is that? Right.
Yeah.
So the guy emerges, and it's someone you guys will recognize. And they ask him, who's your name? And he says, my name is Gordon Flash. So it's Flash Gordon, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Done a Larned Justin style. And so after that they call him Gordon Flash.
Yeah. Now, by the way,
I won't give away the ending, but it's really funny. I like the coloring. The coloring's very nice.
Yeah.
Not too happy about things.
Yeah.
And these guys are just, I mean, look at the expressions on their faces. Like pouty lips, like, huh?
Oops.
They just don't get it,
Yeah.
the way things are on Earth, like.
Yeah, that's it. Perfect.
Play this. I should play this in the Two Ordinary Guys movie.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I would play that character.
That would be good. Speaking of movies, I do have a video on how to make a comic book out of one page, but they're all over the internet. That's easy to find. And anybody can do it. You can do a little stick man, you can do whatever and make a little comic book just like this out of one sheet of paper and sell them for, like I am, $75 an issue and make some money.
Well, what are you? Are you charging anything for these?
Huh?
$1 each?
I don't know.
Just pay for the postage because they're small.
Yeah, pay for the postage.
Something else. And that leads me to a question, because it seems to me that it might be something you would include if they order your other comics. And I did want to ask.
I have done that. And I do have another comic. This one. Inspector eBay, I Spy a Spy. I don't think you have this one yet, do you? You don't have this one.
I have one Inspector
You
eBay.
have the first one, which is Digest. This one I just finished. And I'll send this along to Steve so he can review it for you guys.
The other Inspector eBay is awesome. It's great. It's lengthy and it's hilarious.
This one has grayscale coloring.
Okay.
And this is 16 pages long, but and this was $4. But Steve will review it as soon as I can send it to him.
Larned has a distinctive sort of your humor. It's laid back, funny humor, and just you're reading along and you think it's going to be something normal, but there's some I can't describe it other than it's just
nothing normal. That's for sure.
Nothing. Yeah, really, there's nothing normal. It's just the way it's written is offbeat and irreverent and hilarious.
And we keep them clean. We do keep them clean. I think that small press has an obligation to kind of keep things a little more high quality. So I've always been one to, it's easy to do potty humor or bathroom humor. That's the easiest thing in the world. Try doing it without doing that. It's a little harder. And I've always subscribed to the theory that small press should be one step above that. And that's what I try to do with mine. So
I'm the same way too. I mean, you got to have a little class in what you're doing and respect your readers, and don't just toss out a bunch of potty humor.
I mean, that's the easiest
bunch of vulgar
thing.
Words.
That's the easiest thing in the world to do. I never respect that because it's too easy.
Right. If you can be funny without having to resort to shock tactics.
Shock, and that's 70s, late 60s. Yeah, you were trying to shock people in those days. The underground comics, that's what they were trying to do, and they did it. But that's over.
Been done. Yeah.
So
and no need to jump on that bandwagon, because the best people who ever did that were probably in the underground comics community, and you know, you're not really going to top that. They did it, and they
No,
did it in an
they did it,
awesome
and
way.
they
The
did it
underground comics
very
were
well. Yeah.
Robert Crumb and Shelton and Sheridan with the Freak
Yes.
Brothers and all that.
And the Freak
That
Brothers.
was
Yeah.
terrific.
Yeah. And that stuff was great at the time. I mean, really, it's still great. But I see no need to, go down that road.
Because a lot of people jump on board, but they don't have the talent. They
Yeah.
just have the vulgarity.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
When I first got into small press, I was afraid of getting a bunch of that kind of stuff in the mail. So I got a P.O. box and I used a fake name for a little while. The first thing I got was utterly filthy. The very first thing I got was unbelievably filthy.
Welcome to small press.
Yeah. Anyway, from then on, it's been great. Okay, you're going to talk a little bit about this John
Oh,
Miller?
I did want to ask, but you got something else in the works. You got something else in the works. You got a comic coming up soon. You want to talk about that real quick? Oh,
What's that?
never mind. It's a
I mean,
secret.
this is the only one I'm serious. I have this one, but that's.
No, the one that Tommy Hearn is inking.
Oh yeah, I have a 19th century detective. I've done 2 issues. They're about 6 years ago, and Tom Hearn is inking 30 pages right now.
There you go. 30
He
pages.
estimates that it would be out maybe. I mean, he would be finished maybe in October early. So that is coming up, and I'm looking forward to that. And
That's
I
something
think
else. Larned writes epics.
that one is not a comedy. There's nothing
30
funny.
pages,
It's
then.
a serious detective story
Yeah.
set in the 19th century.
I mean, you
He's
couldn't think
kind
of
of like
better.
a Sherlock Holmes, but quite a bit different.
Okay.
So yeah, that is coming up.
Yeah, Tommy Hearn's a terrific inker.
I can't wait to see his
He's so
inks.
prolific. You know, I understand
Yeah.
he's working with Larry Blake again, and they're working on a new project. He's supposed to be doing work for me, but you can't go wrong with, you
Yeah.
got 2 great talents there. You
Yeah.
got Larned, you got Tommy Hearn. That's going to be an awesome
Well, we
comic.
got Tom anyway. Okay, so enough about me. This is
As the Miller told his tale.
this is compiled by me. I was given permission by John Miller to put some of his work together in a book. Now, trying to explain John Miller is rather difficult. You can see his style is kind of psychedelic, I would say.
Wildly psychedelic.
Wildly psychedelic. Very sharp, edges to all of his cartoons. And I will say, and now these are from quite a while ago. I haven't heard from John Miller in quite some time, but John Miller suffered from schizophrenia. And I think that's known. He knows it. He lives with it. But it is reflected in all of his work in some way or another. He does a lot of what would I say?
That's a lot of panels on one page.
A lot of panel. I mean, what happens with John?
A lot of work.
As he progressed, you can see these panels have quite a bit of words and they're quite small, but in later years, there was almost all words and a very slim picture at the bottom.
Okay.
That's how his work kind of progressed. But a lot of people in small press know who John Miller is or was. Like I say, I haven't heard from him for a long time. But I did know some other artists from Scotland that knew John Miller personally and actually went over to his house and helped him out a little bit, with things. And they used to tell me, how he was doing and all that. And I haven't heard from those guys in a while either. But
He's got some
This
nice
is,
artwork.
yeah.
Like psychedelic for
um,
sure, but very well done. The inking
yeah.
is solid, and it's cool. It's cool to look at.
These strips are from 1982 to 2002.
Yeah, and it's done in Scotland. So if they
Yeah,
were written
he's,
in Scotland, he talks like some of the dialogue. It's English, but it's Scotland
it
English.
has the Scottish brogue in it, in the
I mean,
writing.
if you look at it,
But he
it's
does a lot of secret agent stuff, is what I was trying to say before.
uh-huh.
He likes secret agents, and he'll even use uh, contemporary comics as part of his stories. Um, I can't think of which ones, but but they're secret agents. And,
But some of these, the dialogue is so Scotland that
yeah,
it's
it's
difficult.
neat.
Like you have to
Yeah,
look at it. So you like talking about these cats. There's two cats here,
yeah,
Winky and Dinky,
yeah.
right here, and right here
They're
they're
cheeky.
talking, and it says, "You've maybe noticed that us cats dinna they with people tell us today." It could be dinna die
Dinner.
with people
Us
tell us
cat.
I die. But what it's saying is us
You
cats,
deny day what folk tell us today.
we don't do what people tell us to do.
Yeah,
But
that's I think what he's saying there.
this is
Yeah.
Scottish English. So dinna die day with people tell us today. It's either day or die. Sorry, I should know that. My ancestors actually came from Scotland.
Well, you should know how to speak with a Scottish
Yeah,
accent
I should. Somebody lost that dialect somewhere along the
then.
line, but the Keeters are supposed to have come over from Scotland in the mid 1800s. No kidding. And my
Hmm.
grandfather's great grandfather, um, they were Scottish and English. And
Uh-huh.
Keeter is the same name as Keats or Keating or Keaton, like Michael Keaton. So maybe I'm related to Michael Keaton, the
Oh,
Batman. Who knows?
or
But
Kevin Bacon.
he doesn't talk like this
Uh,
either.
yeah.
But if you can get past that, and most of it, it's just very readable. Once in a while you'll
Oh,
see that.
yeah, yeah. You know what's going on. Although it's very strange. And here's a good example of what I was talking about, where the words are taken over the panels. And this,
Right.
as he progressed, it got more and more like that.
A lot of dialogue.
Like that. Yeah. Claws of power.
Yeah. When you look at these two pages,
And
a lot of dialogue and a
this guy
utterly
is,
stylistic artwork.
yeah, the
Uses a lot of
artwork is
blacks.
sharp angles, very sharp angles. And it's just really different. And he gave me permission to put this book together.
Mhm.
And I still have some left if anybody would like one.
I mean, his style, it's definitely unique. And
Yeah,
you'd think after decades and decades of freaking almost 100 years of comics almost, that there's nothing new under the sun.
but
But
along
there's
comes
something
this.
new here.
Yeah, and he's very, very different.
And,
Very different.
yeah. So very distinctive,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of fun to read.
Yeah,
I don't know. He may be
and
schizophrenic,
you
but he
know,
makes great comics.
might be able to look him up some way. I don't think he was ever on the internet that I know of, but there may be some way to look him up, see if he's still doing stuff. I don't know. I have not pursued it for a long time, but I don't know what he's doing now.
It'd be worth looking up.
Yeah, it really would. Of course, everybody in Scotland is named John Miller, so that makes it a little difficult. You got to find. So that is John Miller, and cartoonists sometimes are unusual, and this guy's unusual.
We're not unusual. We're normal.
Oh yeah.
That's for darn sure.
Uh-huh. So what else do we have We don't really have anything.
Can't see. I can't see.
Oh, this is painful.
I like that mask.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was really Batman. I didn't know it was you. I thought, you know,
Well,
Batman
that was
was.
the idea. That was the idea. I thought I could fool you.
Yeah. Hey, you totally fooled me.
Yeah. All right. We
Where
are
were we?
back.
John Miller,
Mm-hmm.
two ordinary guys from the United States, Larned Justin and Steve Keeter. There'll be a new. We're all
There's
flying
a
off in a
thought.
flying saucer. There we are taking off.
That's a good idea. I might do that. Two ordinary guys that are on YouTube making fools of themselves.
Utterly,
That would be a good comic.
absolutely. Yeah,
And if
we would own that one.
if you would like your comic book on here so that we can make fun of it, all you have to do is send Steve one and me one, and our addresses are in the description below. And we will do our best to ruin your comic book.
Well, folks, we're here to promote small press.
Seriously.
No kidding.
Seriously, we enjoy doing this, and
I know
we
you were
love
getting.
to promote your book.
Yeah, I know you were getting worried, but he was only kidding.
I was only kidding. Yeah.
That's Larned's sense of humor, you see. We both have a sense of humor. We wouldn't be doing this show. I will say, okay, I'm just going to mention, because what the heck, we're getting ready to close this out.
Okay.
John Miller, Matt Decker, we're getting so much great stuff. And you guys, if you keep sending your comics and zines, if you would, sometimes I'll order them myself because there's just stuff I want to see. I see stuff out there that's so great, But if you do decide to send your books to us for review, send a copy to Larned and send a copy to me, and we'll review it on the show. And
the
I want to
other
mention.
thing I wanted to mention.
You go ahead.
Comments. We enjoy comments. We like to answer them. We like to read them. Now, you have to have a YouTube channel to make a comment. You don't have to have anything on your channel. It's free, but it allows you to comment on any of the YouTube videos then. And we love comments. I don't think we get enough comments, so can't be too many. So
and we can definitely use one. And the comments also, they help to promote small press as well, because you're talking about and you're encouraging the people we review.
Who we're talking about, yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
you're letting them know what you think. And, I think there's a lot of great talent out there, and we do our best to promote that.
Mm-hmm.
So, get behind those folks and be supportive and, let them know what you think.
Yeah. As I said before, you're talking about limited edition art. There's no other explanation. That's what it is. You can go to galleries and buy limited edition prints, and you got one picture. You can get a small press comic book, and you've got a whole comic book of limited edition art. So someday it might be worth $3-4. Who knows?
No, I'm surprised when I go on eBay and I see something that I published 40 or 50 or 30 years ago, and I charge like $2 for it, or what, $1, and I see it on there and they're bidding and the starting bid is like $75. I'm like, whoa, how'd that happen?
I just bought we have a little, it's actually a little, they sell toys and those kinds of things, collector toys, but he has some comic books, and he had a Mad magazine from 1968 with a cover price of 25 cents, and it sold for $8, and I bought it because I'm a Mad magazine guy. Yeah. So yeah, they increase in value the older they get, I guess.
Yeah, they do, because small press comics are a much more limited print run.
Yeah, very
but yet
limited.
they still have an influence. They still have an influence on people. and on artists and writers who are coming up later. And I know that there's some of the people I worked for that worked for me that did work for me 50 years ago, and then they've gone on and done professional comics and
Yeah, the professional
you know,
comic book
and
artists now. Yeah.
and gotten paid for their work, making money as Larned and I are continuing to lose money
Yes.
on what we publish, but we mean well.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the truth.
I want to mention very quickly, there's an old pal of mine, it's David Kling, an old friend of mine from way back, I guess the 1970s, late 70s or early 80s. He published a comic book called the Triumvirate. And this isn't something we're going to review on the show because I don't think Larned is going to get a copy of this, but I just want to mention this. He's back publishing many, many years later.
Wow.
And he's publishing paperback.
Nope. Are they graphic novels or?
No, they're not graphic novels. It's all text.
No, it's all text.
They're based on the comic stories that he published before.
Wow.
Some 30 or 40 years ago.
Neat. Yeah.
So he sent me a couple of these.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool.
And David Kling, and he's just rejoined the UFO after 40 years. He's back in the UFO, so he's going to be doing some comics.
Oh, great.
So that's cool, and that just gives you kind of an indication of, the kind of quality we can expect. So hopefully we'll be reviewing his stuff sometime in the near future.
All right. Well, kind of a shorter version of our show. We need some new comics, and we will be back when we get some comics, and we will be doing some interviews. So we not always have comics to review, but
Dan Burke, are you watching this show? Because we're kind of interested in reviewing you. I just want to say that because Dan is a guy who got into small press in 1973 because he ordered one of my first small press comics. He ordered a copy of I'm Number One, and that was it. He jumped into small press, and he's been doing it for years and years. He's been working for Alan Freeman with his publications, and and he's doing stuff online. And Dan, I know Dan said something that he'd like to be on the show.
Oh, good.
Dan, we'd like to interview you. I'm just throwing that out to you.
As we'd like to destroy anybody's career that we can.
Right. You want your career destroyed. Yeah.
All right, I think we're going to wrap it up. And, Michael Eisenfeld lives near me, and he's a comic book artist. And you know what he said? He was working, I guess, the late shift. And he plays our videos in the background, kind of like music. He listens to them while he's working. Now, you can do that if you want. And also, you could use this as a nightlight if you don't want to hear the sound. So,
but let folks know.
Yeah, we're multi-purposed here. So, all right, we're leaving before we get in more trouble. All right, see you next time.